opportunity to serve in their community in some way.
Thank you, General. Cassie will ask our next question.
Hi, my name is Cassie Flowers. I'm 14 in the 10th grade. And my question is, who were your role model when you were young and why?
Well, first, I had the family members. My mother and father I treasured. They're both gone now, but they were two hardworking people who did everything they could to make sure that my sister and I received everything we needed. And they lived good lives, caring lives. They loved each other. They loved the family. They loved their children. And we could see in our parents, my sister and I could see in our parents the kind of people we wanted to become, because that's really how, children internalize that by watching parents and see how parents live their lives. And so those were the two most important role models in my life, as well as other aunts and uncles. In a public sense, as a young black kid growing up in New York City at that time, if you were looking for somebody that kind of looked a little bit like you, then you kind of had the Jackie Robinsons of the world and the Joe Lewises of the world. And I was 10 years old when Jackie made his debut in 1947, I guess it was. And he was a tremendous role model for young boys and young girls at that time, because you have to remember at the time that I was coming up and getting ready to enter Morris High School in 1950 when I came here. There weren't that many opportunities, there weren't that many role models of blacks who, would be somebody like you. There weren't places you could go. There were places you couldn't go. There were jobs you couldn't have. And so we were limited in terms of role models, and I could probably just count them on one hand. It was a Jackie Robinson or a Joe Lewis or Ralph Bunche, the great UN leader, people like that. But for the most part, I found my role models within the family. The teachers in my schools were role models, people who seemed to be living a good, decent life, and I learned from them. Role models need not necessarily be somebody who is terribly important or a celebrity or a famous basketball player or an actress or a general for that matter. A role model can be just somebody. And a role model usually is somebody in your life who is living a good life and who is doing the right things in life, and you can learn from that person.
Thank you, General. Angel will ask another question.
How volunteer service make you the person you are now?
I think just the very act of volunteering gives you an opportunity to share with somebody else. It gives you the opportunity to help somebody in need. And I think that rebounds, it comes back to you in many multiples. It makes you a better person, as I said before, and it essentially strengthens your own character. And it also allows you to realize that what really counts in life is not how high a position you get or what kind of title you ultimately get or how much money you're able to accumulate. What really matters in life is, are you living a good life? And what does living a good life mean? It means, are you doing something that you enjoy doing in life to earn a living, and are you doing it well? Does that give you satisfaction? And secondly, are you giving something back to your society? And third, are you raising a good family, children who will succeed you? And those are the real measures of life. And so giving back is an essential part of life. It's a part of fulfilling yourself. And so I always felt that through my own service work, and I was a service person in the Army for many, many years, but in the work I'm doing now, I find that completes my life. It fills in my life. It makes sure that I'm living a life that has worth. And I hope that every young person who might be seeing this little production here today will internalize that same emotion, that same belief.
Thank you, General. Warren will ask another question. Did anybody inspire you to become volunteer, and why did you start the America's Promise?
I think throughout my life I have been touched by people who are willing to volunteer and to serve, to include my parents, who did a lot in their church. Most of their volunteer work was done in the church or in community organizations. So it's always been something within my family. And after I retired from the Army in 1993, I spent 2 years working on my book. And after it was published, I had time. I could do other things. And as I looked around as to how I could spend my time best and how I might contribute, serve my nation in a new way since I was no longer serving as a soldier, I kept seeing the problems that young people were having, some young people were having, and I thought that that's a place that I could dedicate my energy and my volunteer time. So I became a member of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Board of Trustees. I became a member of the Board of Governors and Directors of the United Negro College Fund, and that's where I've been this morning, and the Children's Health Fund here in New York. And also I'm on the board of Howard University, so I'm trying to help in a number of different ways. And then along came this organization, America's Promise, and I was asked to chair the summit in April last year, where all of our presidents came together and all of our governors and mayors from about 100 cities, and thousands of people came together to try to organize ourselves and help young people by bringing resources into their lives. And the resources we're working on is to make sure that every boy and girl has a mentor, if you need a mentor, or there's absence of an adult caring presence in your life, bring a mentor into your life. Safe places for you to learn and to grow, safe places such as Morris High School, but especially in the afternoon when you leave Morris High School, Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCA, scouting programs. I cannot tell you how absolutely pleased I am to see uniforms in Morris High School, to see the junior ROTC in Morris High School, because I was pushing for this the last time I was here in 1991 and hoping we could get this kind of program started. And so to give youngsters a safe place. The other three areas we're working on with America's Promise is to make sure that all of our young children get a healthy start in life with vaccinations, eye care, hearing care, and oral care. And then to make sure all of our youngsters are going to get a marketable skill. See if we can get corporate America to supplement the school experience the way McGraw-Hill is doing here at Morris and in the other programs that McGraw-Hill is supporting. And then finally to give our youngsters an opportunity to serve back. And so when they asked me to chair that effort and then chair the follow-on campaign to make this happen, I was very, very pleased to do it, and I'm spending most of my time now on such programs to marry up corporate America with where our young people are in schools. McGraw-Hill's one yesterday afternoon. I was with Janet Jackson, drop a name, and Miss Jackson and I, that's the result of a partnership I've created with the Time Warner Company, and she is going out on concert tour, and as part of her concert tour proceeds, she will be giving part of those proceeds to America's Promise so we can use that money to help create more mentoring relationships for more young people around America. And she's a great example of what we're trying to do. People who have made it, who've been successful, and now wish to give back part of their treasure, part of their time, and part of their talent to help us, are going to be encouraged to do so. And as a result of her tour, we'll probably get $1 million that we can put into mentoring programs to help more young people receive the benefit of mentors being in their lives.